Hello, welcome to Betfred's Football Show. We're going to be talking about the Premier League, although it is the winter break, and we're going to be looking at the Championship as well. Paul Parker alongside me. Winter break, when did that happen?
I don't know, it's been put in there.
I was looking at the fixtures and thinking, I thought it must be an FA Cup weekend, but it's not. We've got a winter break for the Premier League, which does seem a bit ridiculous with all the games we've had called off, 22.
Well, it doesn't make any sense. It seems like a few clubs have decided to call them in a little bit earlier. They've gone and done that. Now they've nicked another week as well. Not that it makes a lot of difference, because sometimes some engines work better when they're run a little bit warm. So we've seen a few clubs struggle when they've come back after playing games. Not playing games, I should say.
We've finally got some clarity in the COVID rules. So the Premier League clubs met, and you've 4 positive tests, then you can apply for a game to be called off, because we think that possibly Arsenal only had 1 positive test that got the North London derby called off, and that was ridiculous, wasn't it?
It was ridiculous, and is 4 any guarantee? Can you just get 4 and put 4 in and go, we've got 4 COVID tests? It could be anybody, couldn't it, really?
Well, let's just hope it doesn't happen. I mean, look at that, 22 games lost in the Premier League, 4 in Serie A, 3 in France, none in La Liga, none in Bundesliga. So let's hope we're not talking about games off because of COVID. Right, where are Manchester United at? Have we got not enough long enough time this show to talk about them?
Well, they've been involved.
22 games gone. Look, they've got a great opportunity to get that 4th spot.
They have.
Or even 3rd.
No. I'm going to say 4th spot is available. I think the 3 above, the 3 up the top are better than the rest. If we're talking the top 6, we've got the top 3, and the other 3 are average this season, to be perfectly honest. Tottenham, you can see it. Conte's made a difference. He's given them a chance. Arsenal, so hot and cold, you don't even want to go there. And Manchester United, you don't know what's happening next, as what it's been like since 2013, to be perfectly honest. We don't know, but they're not good enough to go. The 3 above are far too good.
But you'd be very disappointed if you didn't get Champions League football next year, wouldn't you?
If you're Manchester United, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, you would expect it, given their squad compared to Tottenham and Arsenal's, yes. But the difference is you can have all the names you want, all the best names. It still needs a little bit of application, doesn't it? And players who want to do it and achieve it, who their pride and their ego are saying, I want that, I want that. If I can't have that, I'm going to have the next best thing. I don't know if United have got players like that. I think, as I said before on the show, there's too many players who are quite happy walking around and people looking at them and they're happy to say that people are thinking in their minds or saying that he plays for Manchester United. I don't think many of them understand the fact when you play for United, you're meant to contest for the biggest prizes possible.
Not enough fire in the bellies?
Oh, no, not at all. The fire's been taken out of the bellies of a lot of his top players because of what they're earning. And it's human nature, by the way. If you had someone who's working on the factory floor and all of a sudden his wages was up by 100%, would he go to work every day? Yeah, of course he would, because he want that money. But would he have the same drive to keep doing that same job, knowing and thinking to himself, well, I don't have to do, you start working a little bit less because things get a little bit easier. Human nature. And I think that's happening with a lot of players at top level. And you can't blame them, because it's very difficult to keep that going. You win the pools. Oh, sorry, I'm saying the pools, I'm sounding too old there. You win the lottery.
I know what you're on about.
Yeah, you win the lottery, and as we've seen already, a lot of people, they suddenly just go, that's a relief gone. You lose that drive, Mark.
And is that the problem at Manchester United?
At
or
the
is
moment,
it a problem in football in general?
I think there's a problem in football at top level. I think below that, I think there's players there still playing to pay mortgages and to drive a nice car and things like that. They're still going, but definitely in the Premier League, you're getting playing now. Doesn't matter what club you're at, you're earning a bit of money.
Oh, I know, but it doesn't seem to be a problem at Man City. I know they dropped points at the weekend against Southampton, but drive does not seem to be a problem at Man City.
No, it doesn't. It definitely doesn't.
Is that the manager?
I think the manager makes it. We've seen his enthusiasm, we've seen Conte's enthusiasm, but it's about getting the right players. And you can manage a team, but it's about managing the situation off the field as well and having a say in the personnel you're bringing in. How many that, when suddenly you see these managers and they've got the hump because somebody who they don't know as such is buying them players. But they like to know, they know the players. They'll have people who they trust who go and look for players, and they know the players are in the same mindset as the manager, the person they're working for. So they want to bring them in to chat and do something. But now players are throwing at them and they have to deal with them when they know what they're like off the field and what their personality is like.
9 points for gap between Man City and Liverpool, and Liverpool have got a game in hand. Fred's paid out early on Man City to win the title. I still think Man City are going to win the league, aren't they?
Yeah, I think I was here on the 6th.
Between Christmas and New Year,
I was here, I think the 6th of Jan, I think it was, yeah. And that was said to me, I think Sean said it to me, and I didn't know. And I was shocked, to be perfectly honest. And now I've come back again now, and I'd be a little bit concerned about it, just to the fact of now it's gone down by that. You know, it's come down to where it is now. Liverpool have to go to City. City gave up 2 points against Southampton, even though they should have won the game by what they put into it and what they nearly got out of it. They just sat back in there, Southampton, camped in there and got away with it. Great point for them. But there's going to be a lot of games like that for City. We saw City do that, I think, in Pep's first season. There was always last-minute goals. I remember the goal, I think it was under Mancini. It was a late goal scored by...
Well, the most famous late goal was obviously Aguero against QPR.
Yeah, and there was another one scored by the centre-half.
Vincent Kompany at Leicester.
At Leicester, he scored a really late one to really then to keep it going, because if it hadn't, that doesn't go in, it could have been a different story. So I think there's still few ups and downs, I think, for Fred to worry about before the end of the season.
You worry if you're a Watford fan, don't you? 1 win in 8 games, just 7 points from the last 13. New manager, 18 managers in the last 10 years? The first 18 managers at Vicarage Road spanned 1903 to 1977. So
it's just I just find it embarrassing for a club like Watford, and I was brought up in that time when Watford was just about your Luther Blissett, your early John Barnes, was it Callaghan? There was Callaghan as well, the right-sided player, just players of that ilk, but it was about the owner and the manager. And what Graham Taylor done for that football club has been absolutely kicked into touch, and then someone's come along and then thrown it even further away, because that club has lost, for me, so much of its integrity. It's incredible what's gone on in that club, what they've done with managers. Shocking, absolutely shocking. And now, for me, they've got the right person who should have been there maybe quite a while ago, but someone to go in there.
So you like Roy? You think he's a good one to steady the ship?
Yeah, to steady it and get something back, to get a little bit of discipline with the players. I don't know what say he's got with the owners, because the owners, are they still going to want to bring in players from Italy or wherever they're bringing them in from to play in that team? That's the biggest problem that Roy's got. And knowing what Roy's like and seen some of his interviews, Roy doesn't want players thrown at him. He wants the players he knows who can play in the fashion that he wants. At the moment, Watford, if they've got 11 players on the pitch, they're all going in a different direction.
Yeah. Because Palace were always very hard to beat, weren't they?
They were difficult to beat. They weren't exciting. But at the moment in time, Watford fans would take not exciting if it meant they were staying in the Premier League, and then this was the start of a new era where they're going to actually be disciplined. The owners are going to be disciplined on the manager they're going to bring in.
Is it 3 from 4 to go down then? Norwich, Newcastle, Watford, Burnley, or can Everton get dragged into it? Could Leeds get dragged into it? Could Brentford get dragged into it?
Brentford won't get dragged into it, I don't think. Can Leeds get dragged into it? I really don't believe Leeds can, to be honest.
So it's 3 from 4?
I think it is. But I'm putting Everton, Everton for me, given everything. Can Duncan get him out of trouble?
Well, who's going to take over? Because, Roberto Martinez was odds on, looked like he was all going. He's
been there. I don't think it'd be right for him to go back.
But now Frank Lampard's odds on.
But Frank's never been involved
But 2 days ago, Victor Pereira was odds on.
Frank's never been in a relegation battle in his life. He doesn't know what it's like. He struggled at Chelsea, proving that he lost his job in the end.
So do you think this appointment is absolute key? And then if Everton don't get a right appointment, it becomes 3 from 5 and Everton are dragged into it?
What is the right appointment when you've got a squad like the squad that Everton have got?
Spent a lot of money.
Yeah, but it's a dismantled squad. It's just nothing now. Nothing. It doesn't make any sense at all. Someone went in there looking for something and come out with something else, because what they've spent on some of those players is shocking. There's nothing there at all. There's no structure. There's no harmony. You've got no idea what Everton are trying to do at this moment in time. Their supporters are saying it all about them, where they are at this moment in time. And
well, they're not happy. So who would you appoint? Or would you keep Duncan to the end of the season?
I think if you want someone who's going to tell people the truth and get the best out of, who knows who are the best apples in the barrel, I think it has to be Duncan. I think he'll tell the new manager, if the new manager comes in, exactly the right ones who he believes going to get Everton out of trouble rather than the fly-by-nights. But they're in serious trouble unless they get the best mentally strong players who want to play football for Everton Football Club. They've got no chance. They look like they could go down.
So big Duncan to the end of the season.
I think there's something like that for him just to go in there. Just to sort a few out, because not many are going to cross him. He knows them all better than anybody. Any new manager comes in has to ask Duncan all about them, and it's going to make no real difference. Whoever goes in there, they're great plans. I think it's just about sheer hard work will get Everton out of trouble, because then first and foremost they've been bought for all that money because they're supposed to be good players.
Now it's not long to the end of the transfer window. Spurs definitely need to strengthen, don't they? And I think Conte knows that. Now, I was told Conte only took the job because he was promised money. Well, they've put a bid in for Adam Traore, but he's now talking to Barca. So who can they sign?
I really don't know who they can sign, but you don't need a rocket scientist to tell you that he signed an 18-month contract, and it would have been about to bring in.
I'm told he was promised he'd have money.
Well, it wants a couple in January, and then get to the end of the season and see what you want to offer me in the summer for what you want to do next, Daniel, and then we go from there. And that serves a good purpose because there's only a small time left on the contract. Not a lot of money for Daniel to give out if he goes. But when you sign Conte, you sign somebody who wants to win titles. You don't sign Conte.
They're only 2 points behind Manchester United, and they've got 2 games in hand on Manchester United.
Yeah, so they're in a great position, Tottenham. And I think Daniel Levy's got to understand. Great that he's got this unbelievable venue, because it's a venue, not a football ground.
Look, I was lucky enough to look round it just before Christmas because the Challenge Cup's going to be there. It's fabulous, isn't it?
It's incredible. I mean, I've been
it's the best stadium I've ever been to.
I've been in that stadium so many times. I've been inside of it when I've been to an event there.
I mean, a brewery inside a stadium. What a great idea.
It's just incredible. What the concourse is a madness.
No, it's so well thought out.
And I walked around it when it was like there was no fans allowed in there, and it was scary, quite eerie walking in there.
Did you see the NFL dressing rooms?
No, I didn't go and see.
Bigger in your house.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Big.
But I've been to a basketball stadium in Calgary in Canada, and I went in there. I couldn't reach the clothes pegs. The light switch. I couldn't touch the light switch because everything was there for the basketball players. But with Tottenham, they've got an amazing opportunity. From no one believed. The Tottenham fans believe in Conte straight away. His history tells you that they're willing to accept him as an ex-Chelsea manager because they know they've got someone who is a proper winner, not someone who talks about winning. Conte doesn't talk about what he's won because people know. The other one they had before wants to tell people they've got the proper person to take them somewhere where they've never been before. So that's why Daniel Levy has to stick with him. Otherwise, the disgruntledness that's been at Spurs for years will grow even bigger in a short space of time.
Let's talk about Manchester United in this transfer window. Martial has gone out on loan. I think that's probably a good thing.
He needed to do it for himself. If he's had any pride in himself,
well, what
he's taken
Lingard
it.
then?
Lingard's got to do exactly the same. It's a complete waste of what he's doing now.
He's 29.
He must be bringing that on himself because after he went to West Ham, and I live in the West Ham area, they absolutely loved him for what he'd done for that club because David Moyes, when he come back, done a really good job. But when he signed Jesse gave him that little bit more, and all of a sudden he got a little bit, and he got so many things going. And him being a Man United player, the way they took to him was unbelievable because there was a few waiting for him to be big time Charlie and stroll around.
No, he played great.
He gave them everything, and then when he had an opportunity,
and he got himself back in England squad for the Euros.
I don't think he should have got an England squad off the back of.
But he nearly did.
Yeah, he shouldn't have done really because he's not his parent club. He shouldn't. I mean, I think really it was wrong for Gareth to be calling him up, in my opinion. If I'm talking old school, that's the way it is, respect for the club manager. But I look at it and what he'd done, and then that was the time for him to say, really enjoyed myself there, I need to play regular football. And he never said that. He was more content in getting back to Manchester United, and then next thing you see, he gets back to United and he has a picture done for Instagram with Ronaldo. That doesn't, that's not the right thing to do.
We're running out of time. You said you live in a West Ham area. Let's upset them.
Yeah.
Why are Manchester United not getting a chequebook out and paying whatever for Declan Rice? Isn't Declan Rice exactly what Manchester United need?
He's 100%, and you saw that at the weekend, exactly why Manchester United need him. He's far better than any midfield player that Manchester United have got on their books at this moment in time. The problem is as I've said many times, he's not going to cost you 100 million because he's a far better player for any club than Jack Grealish is for Man City. Man City paid over the top for Jack Grealish because you're not getting a consistent player. Declan Rice plays the same week in, week out. United should sign him, but if I'm Declan Rice, I would say, who else are you going to sign to complement me? If you're going to play in that midfield, who else is going to complement me in that midfield? I can't be coming to United and doing that amount of work. And that's what he'd have to do at this moment in time if he was to go there. But it would be Manchester United's best signing in a long, long time if he went now.
Right, let's talk Championship. Fulham on top. Fulham looking good. 5 points clear. Blackburn in second as well. I think Fulham are automatically going to go up, one of your old clubs. Who do you think is going to join them? Could another one of your old clubs join them in QPR?
I'm never going to say anyone's going to be guaranteed. We're only talking, we're coming to the back end of January.
And a Championship is so difficult,
It is difficult.
46 games.
But, I mean, I was at Fulham 4 weeks ago, I think, or just after. I don't know, I've lost track of time. I lost track of the last couple of years. But I went there. Me and Tony Gale went and watched our old team go and play against Sheffield United at home. They got battered 1-0. I mean, literally everything. It could have been 3 or 4 to Sheffield United. Sheffield United, similar back four that got them into the Premier League, then got them the same similar back 4 or 5 that kept them in the Premier League. But we know what happened in the next season. I think COVID played a lot in that. But they didn't do that well. All of a sudden, they're on the back of this great run. They come to an end quickly in the Championship. Queen's Park Rangers was there the other day. They've been quite solid recently, still missing 2 key people, goalkeeper and Ilias Chair. QPR have got a great opportunity to go up. If what they need is, I think they need a more solid centre forward. Can Andre Gray be the one to get them over that line? But they need more pace and more energy
This
up
weekend,
front.
QPR got Reading.
Yeah.
They should be a home win.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. QPR should beat Reading, but Reading, a team that get results against teams they shouldn't do, and with Andy Carroll up front, that'll be an interesting one. What they'll do, they won't be like Swansea and keep passing and passing and passing. They will go route one to the heart of QPR's defence.
Let's talk about the live Sky game. It's Huddersfield versus Stoke. Huddersfield unbeaten in the last 8 games. Well, I think they've got a decent chance in the playoffs, haven't they, Huddersfield, now because of this run. Stoke, they were up there. 1 win in the last 5 for Stoke.
Look at Huddersfield have sneaked up there. I mean, no one noticed them. Even I didn't notice Huddersfield. I've talked about Middlesbrough. I've talked about Sheffield United, what they've got in the tank for them to make a decent late burst with the players they've got. People have talked about West Brom, but Huddersfield, another ex-Premier League side who everyone just thought would suddenly just disappear, go back to maybe where everyone expects them to be, fighting the bottom side of the Championship, trying not to go in the First Division. But they're in there at this moment in time with no great names, just sitting in, just doing it quietly. And that's how a lot of the teams have done it in the Championship.
Home win against Stoke then?
Oh, it has to be with Stoke at this moment in time, yeah.
Right, Saturday as well, Barnsley versus Bournemouth. Bournemouth, right, they looked like they were going to cruise the Championship at one point, but what is it? Just 2 wins in the last 5 for Bournemouth?
Yeah, again, I mean, Scotty Parker's got them trying to play decent football. They've got a lot of experience still left in there from their Premier League days. Solanke scores goals in the Championship, but not in the Premier League. Again, they could just hit a bit of form, 3 or 4 games. They're in a decent position to then go and push on to try and get a guaranteed spot. It's not over yet, the top 2 spots. There's going to be changes. Fulham will hit another level because at the moment a few players have stepped in with goals, but they're going to need their man up top to keep scoring goals.
Well, Solanke's 14 and 18, that is impressive. We mentioned Fulham home to Blackpool.
That should be an easy one for them. They should come through it. People will be going there expecting them to see go and score 3 or 4 again. Is that a guarantee? It's not a guarantee. Blackpool turn up, going to the league leaders, are on a high. Great time to go and to go there and ruin the party.
Another game I've picked out: Millwall West Brom. West Brom lost midweek to Preston 2-0.
They are struggling. They played the most.
Just 1 win in the last 5.
The most unexciting football you'll ever see in your life. West Brom big names, but they play so dour. Not positive. They go 1-0 up, you've got a problem as a manager, as players to get back in the game. If they go behind, they don't know how to chase games. They don't play that kind of football to chase games. So that is a problem. But Millwall, I look at them. You just don't know where you get them with Gary Rowett's Millwall. If you can get Millwall in front, it'd be good for them. But they always generally at home like to go behind.
Yeah, West Brom been awful away from home. Just one win since September. And then Luton Blackburn Rovers. Now Blackburn Rovers in that second spot at the moment. Good win on Monday night against Middlesbrough. Luton Town, tough test against Luton Town. But Blackburn are beginning to put it together.
They are, but they haven't got a squad. They haven't got a squad to really. Well, they can if they lose key players, which they have had a few injuries. I think they're missing.
Diaz is on international duty, isn't he?
So they have to do their work really early and hope that they can just stay in there. But their squad just isn't that strong, Mark, to be honest. And when you look at Luton are seriously a tough team to beat at home. A really tough team with a real fanatic support. So for Blackburn to go there and the position they're in, they're like lambs to the slaughter for Luton Town.
Right, so winter break for the Premier League. Some good games in the Championship and the Scottish Premiership as well. Man United's next game, Middlesbrough at home in the FA Cup. Which
again, he's got to pick his team wisely. If he goes on that, if they go out there with ring-rusty players who haven't played a lot of football, but when I use those words...
Well, they're still in the Champions League, but let's be honest, the best chance of a trophy is the FA Cup.
Oh, it is, and that's why I think he's got to play his near best team to get through it. Middlesbrough on a bit of a high. OK, they lost their last game at Blackburn, but they're on a high. He's going to want momentum back again before he goes into his next Championship game, Chris Wilder, and there's going to be, 8,000-9,000 Middlesbrough fans there who are going to be wanting something back. As long as Pally doesn't go in there and join them, that'd be a good thing. But I just think that
he was great, your former centre-back. I tell you what, Manchester United could do with him now and Steve Bruce.
They could, definitely with that. Ronnie Yonton.
And you were a proper fullback as well. But we haven't got time to talk about fullbacks nowadays, have we?
No,
Parks, thanks for joining us. Good to see you. Right, so Championship, Scottish Premiership action, all your football coupons available. Please, if you're having a bet this weekend, please keep it fun and gamble responsibly.